definitely a lot to it. It's not just like one day. It's like from the moment you book a planner, it could be a year or so out. There's a lot of things that happen during that time.
Yeah, and then the placement of the seating chart. Those are two very big things that we just wouldn't know how to help them with. And if we tried, we could put Uncle Bob with Aunt Susie, and maybe they aren't supposed to sit by each other.
That's true. Because that's highly personalized. It's like, I can't even remember groomsmen and bridesmaids' names during wedding day, let alone having to know, 2, 3, 4, 500 guests. Putting able to coordinate. Hi, I'm Jeff Carpenter. I'm here with Jess from the Glass Slipper again. And today we're actually going to be talking about wedding planning, because the Glass Slipper is not only a bridal shop, but they also do wedding planning for your special day. So, hi, Jess. So,
Hi.
Welcome back. We're going to talk about like the whole wedding planning. So, you get into wedding planning. So, I mean, what prompted that? I'm curious about that one.
So my own wedding, honestly, my husband and I got engaged when I was 19, and we got married when I was just 20. And I just loved the whole process. I just loved love, I guess.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah. So it was just a fun thing for me. And once we had our wedding, I had a lot of people that were like, man, you really should do that for a living, because we did things that I don't think most people had done before. So when they saw the whole thing, I was feeling encouraged by people to try it out. So I went to school. It was an online school, but still, nonetheless, I got a degree in the process, and I just evolved from there.
And I can tell, like, from wedding planning and stuff like that, and it's like being a wedding videographer, kind of like seeing the whole process kind of play out. You kind of like realize that there are a lot of like gears in the whole day.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I guess what is the process that takes place to get to that point?
Sure. So I always say that the first part would be booking your vendors, knowing your team, figuring out who you want a part of your day. Obviously, their venue and your place for the ceremony reception, which has evolved over the years. Used to be 2 places. Now it's a lot of times 1. So, just getting all that booked first. And then once that happens, then you can get into the logistics of each vendor and what element they bring into the day and how that all marries together.
The word there.
Yes.
Nice words that are thrown in. Well, that's awesome. So, yeah. I mean, as far as like, when let's say I'm get engaged and I come to you and it's like, okay, I have this great wedding that I want to do. What are some of the things that you ask them as far as like, what do you want? Like,
sure. So we have a few different packages that we'll offer to bride and grooms depending on the budget that they want to stay within as far as for their day. And I do encourage bride and grooms to sit down and have that conversation, because, you got to have somewhere to be in that, in that budget process. So we have where a bride and groom can come in and they can say to us, we would just like you to plan everything. We'll tell you what we're looking for, and then can you help us make that happen? Or we have where they do all the prep work and all the footwork with the vendors, and we come in and just do day of, where we're there for the whole day, and we meet with them a few times ahead of time to talk about their day and help them with their timeline and all of that. And then we are there the day before at rehearsal and the day of to make sure everything they've planned along the way happens the way they saw it to the best of our ability. And so you can go with either one. But if a bride and groom walk in and they say to us, okay, we want you to do all of it. So then we would sit down with them and we just have them start talking about what they see in their wedding day. And then we can get a really good feel on what vendors are appropriate for them based on their style, what what type of day they're looking for, and then we can help steer them toward that. And then we bring together a team and we sit with them. They are getting exactly what they're looking for. We're just doing all the footwork to make it happen. So we're calling the vendors, we're booking appointments for them to sit down with them. We're just helping make all that come together, that process. We're helping handle the budget if they want us to. All that. We're just putting that all together and making it so that they come and sit down with us. They tell us what they're looking for, and then we do the footwork. We do all of we're in the trenches.
Instead of many of them, the brides and the couples kind of like planning their day. It's like you're the one who's kind of like doing all that work. It's a lot of work.
Yes, there's a lot to it.
And definitely a lot to it. And it's not just like one day. It's like from the moment you book a planner, it could be a year or so out. There's a lot of things that happen during that time.
Yes.
So as far as like a team goes, I mean, I guess what makes a really good team of vendors, and how do you work with them?
So, I mean, I feel like when you can get a team together that does work together a lot, you all know how each other moves and how you do a day, for lack of better words, how you all work and how it all goes. So when you can get a team together that works together a lot, that is helpful. That doesn't always happen, which is okay, because sometimes a bride and groom will bring to the table like, hey, my uncle so-and-so does this part, or I have a friend who does this. So then we bring in all the elements that make their day perfect for them, which is what wedding day is what makes it, perfect for them. But I do feel when you have a team that knows each other and knows how they work, it can make it go a little smoother for everyone involved. If that doesn't happen, and that's okay, then having someone who's communicating with them, like us, to make sure everyone knows this is how and when things are going to happen, and these are the requests of the bride and groom. This is how they want their day to look from each vendor. Like from the caterer, this is the important elements for our bride. From the videographer, this is the important elements for our bride. Please don't she's got a special this or that. Please capture it. Things like that, so that we can help with that.
And that's good. I mean, it's like, I know I've worked with several vendors, some not so much that I work very well with, but there are some that when I work with them over and over and over again, I get to know how they work. And I think I can see it's hard for a wedding planner who it's like if you have a team that has never worked with each other, it makes it 10 times harder, because communication is key, just to make sure that, okay, this is happening at this time. And I know I've worked with you on several of them, and I know that's the one thing I really love about you is the communication. It's like you're there, and it's like you're here, you're there, and it's like, okay, there's Jess. Jess is over there. Where'd Jess go? Oh, there she's over there.
Yeah.
But I think that's good, because it's like that reassures that the couple that they are getting the high class service, instead of, because I've worked with a couple of planners that just, they are there and they sit down and that's all they do.
That's not me.
No,
I'm a mover and a shaker.
Oh, you are.
I'm when I'm moving.
You are.
And I just can't imagine not giving 110% for someone on that day. I want them to look back and just have nothing but goodness to think of.
Oh, I see that too. It's like, you hear some of these horror stories about photographers that disappear. And even videographers who take over a year to kind of get something like a video to the couple. And it's like, okay, it's like, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. So you have to have vendors that kind of work together. What is something that the planner does that the couple thinks does, but is not accurate?
Well, I mean, I've had times where someone, like invitations, things like that, we don't really get involved in that, or the table, if they're going to do a seating chart, unless we know them personally, which happens about 50% of the time, I will say. But still, I won't know the family dynamics and who they want placed where and things like that. So sometimes I think that those kinds of things we can't be involved in. I mean, we can give advice. I've given advice before, but I can't I can't do their invitation list for them, obviously, or get it sent out. That's all. The invitations are all with the family on them for them to do. And then the placement of the seating chart. Those are two very big things that we just wouldn't know how to help them with. And if we tried, we could put Uncle Bob with Aunt Susie, and maybe they aren't supposed to sit by each other.
That's true. That's highly personalized. It's I can't even remember groomsmen and bridesmaids' names during wedding day, let alone having to know 2, 3, 4, 500 guests. Being able to coordinate all that.
Exactly.
So I could see that. That's something you probably wouldn't do. So
no.
What are some of the details that a couple has for the wedding day that you often have to remind couples of?
So 2 really big things. Silly, I realize, but toasting glasses for them and their bridal party. Because I can't tell you how many times when I've done day of. So now I've got it used to happen to me more than I wanted it to. We'd get to that part of the day, and all of a sudden I look down and I'm getting out the champagne from the bartender, and I'm going to set it at the head table before grand entrance while they're getting lined up outside and getting ready and hyped up with the DJ. And I'm getting out the toasting, what we're toasting with, and suddenly there's no glasses there for them to pour anything into. And I'm like, uh-oh. So now when I sit down with them, it is a part of my questionnaire. Over the years, I've, evolved into, okay, what happened that I needed to prevent for next time? That is a big thing. People will forget that. And so, I try to remind them, don't forget what you're toasting with. Like, what am I going behind the bar to get? And what are we putting it in? And then another big thing that people forget is a cake, knife, and server.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
So I have that in my notes as well. Like, hey, don't forget that. Because I can't tell you how many times I've gone into the kitchen of a venue and tried to find a random knife for them to cut their cake with.
I personally witnessed that several times. It's like we're getting the cake cutting and there's nothing to cut it with, or even a plate that's there.
Set it on. Yes. So when we get to that part of the day, those are the main things I'm honing in on is where's my cake, knife, and server, and do we have a couple of napkins in case it gets messy, and a plate for them to serve it onto.
Yes.
I've gone to the buffet line for a little plate often because so that is another thing too. So in saying that, most of the time, unless you are at a hotel or somewhere where they offer the cake cutting service, my bride and grooms will forget the little plates to have at the dessert area. So that's another big thing. Don't forget your plates for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then I'm going to the caterer and I'm like, are you supposed to have the plates? And they're like, no. And then I'm getting them from them. And sometimes I've had to serve cake on big dinner plates because I have nothing small. So that one I would actually say is one of the biggest ones, the plates, the mini plates for that area.
Okay.
So I remind them of that.
Don't
forget.
That's a good one.
Yes. And napkins and forks, because people usually after dinner, they get rid of all of it.
Oh, yeah. No, I could personally account for napkins at our own wedding where we had this old Mickey and Minnie and kind of like foil stamped napkins.
Yep.
Spent all this money on napkins and we forgot to bring them.
Oh,
so it was sitting in boxes at our house.
Oh, so you had to use them over the years.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Yep.
Oh,
so that's the one thing I remember.
Because I'm sure they weren't cheap.
No, they weren't cheap.
Yeah.
But I remember that. It's like 26 years ago, but it's still.
You still remember it.
Still remember it.
Yep.
So is there any kind of any kind of stories that you may love about a certain wedding that kind of came up that you're like, yep, I remember that one.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that I think every wedding day has something within it that we're like, oh, well, that was a surprise, or I didn't see that coming. I mean, not every, but some. So, it does, things happen and go on. Okay. But for me, nothing once the day's done, I like to try to reflect on the goodness of it for each bride and groom because they've put so much time and effort into it. So I like to reflect on just the goodness of the day. Things do happen and go on, but that's our job, is to try to absorb that right here on our shoulders and try to keep that from the bride and groom. I always say at rehearsal, if anything comes up, please come to me. Don't go find the bride and groom or their parents, because we want to absorb as much as we can, and we'll laugh about it on Sunday. but not on the day of. It'll be a funny story later, not in the moment, usually, because they're stressed and they want it to be perfect, even though you and I both know that there are things that happen every wedding day. But they are the things that in the end, 26 years later, we remember that we didn't bring our napkins.
Yep.
It's just that I have my own things too that happened, and I look back now and laugh. My biggest thing that I like to tell my bride and grooms for their wedding day, keep your eye on the prize. You did this journey to be married and to love each other and to, in the moment, become one. Keep your eye on the prize.
I love
the rest of it is just background noise.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good place to stop right there. So, all right. So thank you, Jess, for your comments about wedding planning. So if you're in market for a wedding planner, you can go to the Glass Slipper and hire them for your day or several other things that they do. So listen for future episodes. We're going to basically talk about another one in the next one. So I'll see you later.